done some grindy stuff in the world of Destiny 2 before.
Right.
So I figured there was no way, no shot that it could truly be that awful. And wow! Surprised once again. Well done. Man, it was like 2 hours of us just, okay, what's the next step? All right, I got to get 35 precision kills. Okay, that's easy enough. What's
All
the
right,
next one?
that's fine.
75 melee kills. All right, what's next? Oh, I got to go run this mission. What's the mission? 3 lost sectors. All right, what's after that? I got to kill a fallen captain. Oh, well, that's easy. Except it's a high-value fallen captain that only spawns in 2 locations on Nessus, and one of those locations is bugged.
But there's a way to force it. There's a way to
God.
force it.
Oh, do tell.
So you kill if you kill everything, he'll spawn. So if you kill everything, even like right as soon as the drop ships come in, you do that over and over again, and he will spawn sooner than like I think I waited like 15 minutes. I think Jaden, aka Mod Sherpo, waited like I think he was there for like 45 minutes, and somebody just came in and bopped him real quick and then left. So there's ways around it. You can force the guy to show up. It's just
You want to tell us, TBL? You want to tell them what happened?
All right, so we get to this quest. It's the quest to unlock the Gophanon Forge.
Wait, should we start the show?
Yeah, I just realized
No,
it's 7
this is salt. This is salt, and the salt is
You don't
healthy.
want to include this, okay?
All right,
It's good to get this out of your system. This is detoxing with TBL. Come lay down on the couch. So this quest step requires that you kill a high value target, fallen captain, which spawns in like 2 sections of Nessus. Nim and I sat in the Exodus Black section. The starting point for most people on Nessus for like what 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah,
It was a good while.
It was a while, enough for 2 public events to go through.
Yeah.
Every time the fallen captain spawned, it would be like a high value target has appeared. A high value target has been defeated immediately.
Like within a second.
Within a second, like there was no spawn. No
So
skiff came down.
Your spawning actually killed it every time.
Basically, yeah. He never popped up. It was just immediately in, dead. So we thought, okay, well somebody must have been in here waiting to kill the captain for their quest. So we let it cycle. We wait another 7 minutes for it to happen again. Go through a public event. High value target has appeared. A high value target has been defeated. Again, no sign of this captain. He doesn't exist. We've gone through every spawn point. He usually spawns in the back near where you come in from that strike. No sign of this man. So we go, okay, well, let's look up wherever else these fallen captains are. Watcher's Grave? Okay, let's go there. We go there.
Yeah.
It's a Minotaur. All right, so we just start cycling around all the other zones. I think, let's go back to Exodus Black and see if that was a bug. We go back there. We wait about 5 more minutes. A high-value target has appeared. Ship finally shows up. He drops out. We bop him. Whatever was happening, I don't know what was happening there, but for whatever reason, that fallen captain was just appearing instantly dead and didn't show up on the map.
Oh God,
It was quite frustrating.
It was frustrating.
I just remember like someone in chat being like, "Look, there are like 3. I finally I had." After like finding out that you could force that captain to spawn, they like a buddy of mine today was like, all right, I forced it 3 times and the blueberries stopped killing it long enough for me to finally get a shot off and have it count. And like when I was doing it today, there was a guy who's just like, he was hopping around. I was perched up, I was skanking, I was using the ska dance. And like and I'm just on top of one of the rock ledges, and I see this guy, and he's just hopping around, shooting everything around me. I was like, I know what you're up to. You're trying to steal this from me.
Yep.
I've been waiting here, son. I've been waiting. You're about to wait. He ended up getting a couple shots off on it, which is fine. Couple shots is fine. Straight up kill right underneath my feet. Wasn't gonna let that happen.
Yeah, we'll get into that entire quest line later, but that's a really weird requirement there that I think kind of shows some of the problems with quests like this, with waiting for a specific mob to spawn. This is something that's always in L. I don't know how many other MMOs you guys play, But I've seen this in so many other MMOs where it's like, oh well, you gotta kill a specific mob to complete this quest. That's not great when you have a server that can hold hundreds of people who are all going to be doing that quest, and of course nobody's going to stop and help anybody else. They're all going to be trying to farm that enemy as quickly as possible.
I want mine. I got to get mine done. So waiting for that fallen captain to spawn, that's got to be the most deflating feeling in the world, to just like, oh, he's finally up. Some jerk immediately vapes him and then just back to orbit. Bye, everybody. What flavor is that captain? If he is a vape flavor, what flavor is that captain? Disappointment?
Salt. Just pure unfiltered salt.
It's like a cured ham.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 181 of the Planet Destiny podcast. I felt like that was an appropriate way to start today's live stream. Black Armory's out. There's been a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff to talk about. We've got some salt to talk about. Yeah, that's right. Even more salt to mine than what you just experienced. And we've got some good stuff to talk about. And joining us tonight, Mr. Teebot, the one and only.
Howdy.
Howdy, man. Thanks for joining us on the show tonight.
My pleasure.
Right on. It's great to have you here, of course. Part of the team here at Planet Destiny. He's here to replace Aura, basically. Aura sucks.
Yeah.
Teebot's great.
Yeah, I'm the new guy in the. Oh, never mind. I'm not even gonna go. I was gonna. Originally, the plan was to come on the show.
Oh my god.
with a knit cap and glasses on, but I
like it. You see the lack.
I was gonna try to do an Aura impression, but I'm just not angsty enough.
Ooh, stepping, sliding a little back from that edge there. I like it. I like this guy already, chat. I like him already. Well, right on, man. It's great to have you here. We'll spend a little bit of time talking about Destiny. Might ask you a couple of uncomfortable questions. Be prepared with your social security number on hand, and stuff like that. I'm sure.
2 forms of ID and at least 3 credit cards.
At least 3. Got to have proof of residence too. So might want to hand over the deed.
At least zip code. At least
passport
zip
this
code.
week. I applied for a passport last week because it's too close. Too close.
Yeah.
How'd that go? How did you getting your passport go?
Long ass time in that line.
Everybody makes memes about how long it takes to get like a driver's license or do anything at the DMV. I think the passport's way worse.
So much worse.
Way worse.
Because you're also contending with people trying to send mail. But anyways, go ahead. Go ahead, T-Bot.
Well, we've got our usual roundtable of hosts here, alongside T-Bot. That's Dan. He got his passport this week.
Yay! Or I applied. I'll tell you in 2-3 weeks.
Oh well, then 3 weeks, more like 3 months, brother. It took me like 3 or 4 months to actually get my passport. Then I found out I didn't even need it. I was getting it to go on a cruise to like the Bahamas and didn't even need it. The waste of 4 months of my life that I'll never get back.
Builds character.
Yeah, it puts hair on my chest. That's what that did. Nim, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing well, thank you.
So, how much did Moon have to pay you to get you off of the Anthem Alpha to come do this show?
I don't want to talk numbers. Demoralize everybody in the call right now.
So,
stand up.
Stand up.
Yeah, there we go.
My man's. Yeah,
Each
NDA
foot is
we
a
can't
dollar.
talk about a lot of things, but Anthem Alpha going on this weekend. Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad, actually.
Mm.
I think
a
that's
game.
actually legally. It's a game. Yeah, it's a
game.
game. It's a game.
It is a game by BioWare,
Yep.
and it is in alpha testing today.
It is
That
an
I'm
alpha.
looking forward to in February.
Right.
Yay!
This
That's
is like
the beta?
I think it's launching
Beta-
in February, isn't it?
It is launching in February, but the first week is the open beta, and I want to say in January there's a closed beta for everybody who pre-ordered it.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's in closed alpha right now for people signed up a little on the early side. And legally, all we can say is it's a game. I like it though. Well, all right. We had ourselves a bit of a DLC drop this week, didn't we?
Yeah.
A little bit of Black Armory.
What would you say, DLC or expansion? I've heard so many arguments this week, and that was one of them.
Semantics.
Maybe I'd go expansion over DLC.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to look up the dictionary definitions of them, honestly.
Now, in your own words, for this kindly country lawyer,
Ooh, are we Southern now? Oh, lay it on
what
them.
would you say would be an
Did Dan
expansion?
just get like more gentlemanly all of a sudden? Is there, or is it just
Like
me?
at least 63% more gentlemanly. I do declare.
Dan just gained +5 gentlemen.
I kind of want to do like the rest of the show in a Southern accent. Like I said, just go full Colonel Sanders on this thing, man. But
I'm not gonna do it.
I don't know what's the definition difference between expansion and a DLC.
Yeah.
Aren't they technically
Well,
the same thing?
I would expect expansion to be bigger because I mean,
Yeah.
everybody Forsaken was labeled as an expansion.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
So you
Okay.
all right.
So
I would,
then
yeah,
DLC
I'll probably
is what
see
we
this
got.
more, yeah, as DLC.
All right.
You know what? I'm looking at chat here, and a content drop is what some people in chat are referring it to, and that's I think that's a good way to put it, because it is expanding upon the end game of Destiny 2, but that's pretty much really what it is. It's a new game mode, a couple of new missions, and new weapons and armor, and rather than a new huge set piece for a story, a new world location outside of the raid. We'll talk about that in a bit. So it's really. It's not an expansion in the sense of like the Taken King or Forsaken from a few months ago. This is really just kind of but I mean, T-Bot, you're kind of right. It's an expansion upon what we have right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, content drop, DLC, whatever you really want to call it. It's a bite-sized extension of the content that you have right now, which I kind of feel like. I feel like Bungie might have tried to soften that sort of blow before Black Armory came out by setting the tone for it. Like, this isn't going to be a huge thing. This is just kind of like a little content release. But even with that, there was a lot of confusion on day one from some people when Black Armory dropped. You guys notice that?
A little.
It was it was like shell shock to everybody in the community.
Dropped in. I'm ready. Where is it?
What? Oh,
Can't even do it.
Have it.
I guess I got to go back to the Dreaming City. Okay.
Yeah.
I took like 2 weeks off and played other games, fiddled around, and I was like, amped. I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then, I was like, oh man.
Oh man says it all.
Yeah, shoot, Nim, you and I were streaming at the time when Black Armory went live. And so we were, same way, we were like, all right, let's do this. We're expecting at least a little bit of new stuff here. Let's get in. We start the story. We go through it. We go through the plot to unlock the forge. And then we take 2 steps in there. It was you, me, and John, I do believe, and just get clapped. And it's like, oh, well, this boss. Because we got to the boss on like our second try.
Yeah, we did.
Like, I'll give us props for that. For being like 601, we got to the boss on our second try, and it was like 635. Oh. Yeah,
we got him down to half.
We did get him down to half, but like that was with all the time we had available to us. We were like, oh well. And then, before we knew it, an hour into this DLC, we were back in the Dreaming City doing milestones. And I think that wound up being kind of a shell shock, like you said, for a lot of people who were expecting to just be able to jump into the new activity and stay there for their leveling purposes, rather than, having to run old content to get their light up so they could run the new content that was just introduced. How do you guys feel about that?
As somebody who doesn't mind grinding and I like the content that we have right now. I was okay with it. Sorry about that. I was okay with it. Because I mean, ultimately, like on the first day with like all my milestones and stuff, I was at 609, 610. So I was just about like there, ready to go into the forge. Again, I didn't have a problem with it. I mean, I can understand other people's point of view. With regards to getting to play the new stuff rather than go and redo the stuff that we've been doing since September, but
so that first day, I didn't understand what all the hate was about. I didn't start playing it until way later in the day. than everybody else, but I kept seeing people being like, "God, razzle frazzle," and but like after like playing a few hours of it and being like, "Oh, I can't do the forge." Okay, that's fine. Like, cool. I kind of formed some opinions about it. Like, they did say this was in-game content.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, and I posted a huge thread on this on Twitter. That like, yeah, it's in-game content. Kind of expecting to do it day one without any grind is like expecting to do the raid as soon as a DLC drops and being able to beat it and everything like that.
Yeah.
That seems unfair to the people who are grinding, who are doing like there are ways in Destiny that you can bend your light a little, and that's by like holding on to stuff from previous seasons. Maybe that shouldn't be a thing that happens anymore, maybe Bungie. But like, there are definite ways to do that, and the people that capitalized on that, sure, they shot up and they're like, here, let me show you how to do that. Those were mostly the streamers, mostly the people that are able to invest a lot of time into it, and think about those things regularly in a way that maybe not your most casual player would think about it, right?
Yeah.
So the initial tension seemed to be like, I can't go in and do the thing that I love, versus, didn't you listen? This is the thing. And like everybody was getting like super, there's so much friction in that section there that like I was having like arguments in my threads. It was weird. I wasn't arguing with anybody, but it was like, well, I mean, there definitely is a middle ground, and some of the things that I saw proposed were like, let us grind a week in advance, like at least get our light level up a little bit, or like, you know, maybe drop the forge down, which they ended up doing a day later.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I don't know. With this, I expect a little bit more of a grind. I was able to get up to about 620 this week, 621, with like a little bit of navigating of my bar of my like my drops and everything, and some lucky RNG, and also like I got loaded question this week.
Nice.
And the malfeasance, which both of those were powerful drops.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then just kind of like worked my way around that and kind of figured that out.
Yeah.
But that was on one character.
Yeah.
I can't imagine doing that on 3 characters every week.
Yeah. That's one of the things because I kind of put a little thread on my Twitter as well, is that a lot of people were upset about that. Like, there wasn't much to do as well, other than the forge and get the 2 weapons. And it's like, I brought up the Black Armory calendar as a whole, and it's like, all right, look, this is we're used to, when a DLC drops for the past 5 years, we've been used to, story, strikes, raid lair, whatever. We have a lot to do. We have all that with Black Armory, but the difference is, minus the story, the difference is that instead of it all dropping on the one day, it's being extended for like the next couple of months. So like, naturally, like there's only going to be one thing to do, but it's end game. Like you have to be able to kind of like power up so you can play through it. And like you mentioned before, I mean, you're 620 already, which is within week 1 of Black Armory of 650. Like, you're more than half. You're like almost halfway
everything
there.
That is doing everything and then a little bit more.
Yeah, because Prime engrams like give you a pretty significant boost still.
Yeah, they still do. And like I said, if you have exotic quests, or if you're like, you know what, I'm like, after grinding out that first week for the pinnacle weapons, I'm just this much closer. If I do this much work to get to it, maybe I should just go for it. That's a good way to get light too.
Yeah. So again, like you're almost halfway to what the cap is, and what's supposed to last up until Joker's Wild.
Right.
You know, because we still have another forge that we haven't discovered. Nobody has gotten any of the forge exotics yet because those are time gated as the forges go along. And we also have what sounds like it's going to be the dungeon.
Right.
I can't remember the name of it. Something Labs.
Niobe Labs.
Something like that.
That one. Yeah. So it's like I can understand why people are frustrated because it seems like there's not a lot, but the content is there. It's just it needs to roll out still because again, it's something new, it's something different, it's something that they haven't done before.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I sort of feel like the whole, whatever, the razzle frazzle, whatever you want to call it, was mostly due to people just not really reading what Bungie put out. Because when I went back and read it after the fact, it honestly was pretty clear to me.
Yeah.
And it took time to you got to take time to read it and absorb it. What was Bungie going to do? They did lay it out pretty clearly. And it was just a shock when the first Forge was so hard. I think they did a good thing with dialing the first one back. I think it would have been nice if the forges got harder as we went along, as we progressed. They progressed with us. So the first one started about where it's at right now. So it was pretty hard, but doable. And then the next one would be a little harder, and the final one would be a little harder, right around raid level, So I don't know. I don't mind what they did. I was actually pretty happy with it, and I understood it as an end game thing. Meaning, I wasn't going to be able to do the new stuff necessarily until I reached endgame in the new DLC, which was around 640, 650.
Yeah.
And then it would be easy. You'd be able to do it earlier, but it would be a challenge. And it was definitely a challenge.
There were a lot of people that I was seeing that were asking for because if we look at the Forge, basically it's 3 rounds, right? It's just 3 rounds. You don't go any further than that.
Yep.
You can reload in as many times as you like.
Bungie, where's our horde mode?
Well, I mean, there were some questions about that, but there's also the question of maybe having different difficulties available on day one, for when you're loading in. So having a 600 difficulty one, then scaling that up, having different difficulty scales.
Like a Forge 101 level.
Or the Haunted Forest. The Haunted Forest. Anything like that.
That's actually something because I ran a poll on Twitter, and what you were talking about just reminded me of it, which I said, question, if the Forge had rolled out the original Prison of Elders, where it had multiple layers
of
difficulty, would that have been a better way to handle it? 80% of the 155 votes that I got was yes.
Yeah,
that would have been the smart thing to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's all smart in hindsight.
Yeah.
2020, baby.
Yeah. So I don't know. I can see where Bungie was going, where they're no, let's gate them up front. Let's really show them that this is in-game content for those hardcore players, for those hardcore guys. Get them in there and they'll run through that. And yes, that works. But then you have the rest of the community. And you have to find that balance in between. And so there were people that were commenting about not having Forsaken and losing the raid team, or they had lost their raid team when Forsaken came around because it became a little bit too hardcore for them, which I thought Forsaken was the just right for me.
Yeah, same.
And there are some people who, no matter what, Bungie was going to get it from all sides. End of the day. So, I don't know.
No, I think you hit a lot of notions there. It kind of brings up the conversation of, we all remember back in D1. I'm assuming everybody here, had a lot of time in D1. We had different game modes at different levels. You could go to a story mission and do the normal. You could do the hard, which was going to be a little bit higher light. You had the raid. You had the normal, the hard version of the raid. And that's something that kind of disappeared when we got into D2. And I think that notion there by Nim of having these forges drop clearly, I think the initial level was a little too high. It was a little too high to be throwing a 635 enemy at players on the first day for the very first activity. I do think that was a bit of a misstep. And I think Bungie made the right call by responding super quickly and doing what they could with a server-side update that didn't have to take the game offline by dropping enemy power by 5. I think they still said they're looking at changing things in the future with it. I don't know what they're going to do with that, but if we had like different modes for these game modes, if we had like a normal version, a hard version, do you guys think that could be something that would work with a situation like this?
Absolutely.
That's 2 yeses and a Yeti.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it sort of goes along with the adding, multiple difficulties. Like Nem said, it's exactly the same. Like something like that to make it more accessible, so you can learn the activity that you are super amped up to play.
Right.
I don't see a negative there, but rewards obviously would be accommodating.
Yeah. I mean, even when you think about because obviously you want to incentivize running like the higher stuff. With Black Armory, you have, let's call it like 3 different tiers of weapons.
Right.
So you have the weapons that the saboteurs have a chance to drop. You have the actual forged weapons, and you have the armor that has a chance to drop from the forge ignitions. Like tying the weapons to be the low tier weapons, the ones that the saboteurs drop, to, let's say, for example, a lower tier of difficulty for the forge would be awesome. And then if you want to get the powerful proper Black Armory like weapons, those are tied to the bounties, which require you to run like the higher things, and then like you get the armor from running the most difficult one, for example. But I mean, because again, they did that with Prison of Elders. Like you had the weapon core and you had the armor core. You incentivize people to run your higher difficulty stuff to chase, as opposed to this. It's like, bam, right in your face difficulty from the get go.
Even if they had like, and I posted this too, where it was like, even if there was like a mission where like you find out like Ada's in a thing, which also the introduction to Ada is pretty interesting.
but she was there all along.
She was there all along, and your Amex card got you in.
There you go. Gold card. Swipe it.
Yeah, exactly. But like the whole thing where it butts you up right at the gate. What if you had like a story mission right at the start, right? That you meet Ada and she's like, go find this forge. You have a story mission where you go and complete. You go to attempt to complete the forge, and it's just a no-go. It ends in a fail state, right? And it's like, no, you have to like makes a story decision to say, no, you have to grind light in order to get higher up there. I think that would have driven the point home to players that they need to grind first.
Yeah.
All right, I got gated in story, and so we can move on from there. I think that would have worked out. There are just a lot of options for how it would have worked out better.
There was no warning of that, and
yeah. I mean, there was, and it's not that people weren't listening. It's just like we as guardians, we want to tear into everything, and we want to be awesome all the time. And if you do this to us, Bungo, oh my god!
Well, when I say that there was no warning, what I mean is that there was an expectation by players that the premier content here in Black Armory was going to be the forges. That's what was advertised. There was an expectation that with this new content dropping, people would at least be able to jump into that new activity. Like when we keep using Prison of Elders as an example. It's actually a fantastic comparison here. When House of Wolves dropped, you had a couple of story missions, and then you got access to the Prison of Elders. That's how that worked, and I really understand how people thought that was going to be how this worked, and it was just kind of jarring for them to go up in there and be thrown up against enemies that the vast majority of players weren't going to be able to complete. Because remember, not everybody's 600. Not everybody was like me and Nim's squad of 3 getting to the last boss on like our second try. There were people I saw jumping in there in like the 580s. They had no hope. No hope whatsoever of beating that boss. And so I definitely, I 100% understand dichotomy there and the reaction from some of the community when they're like, oh, well, this got to go back and play old content. It shouldn't have been surprising. You're right, because they did advertise that beforehand. But I understand for people who were, like we said earlier in the show, shell shocked by it. And you know, it happened. It's done. Bungie dropped the light. I think that was a good way to do it. I think. So what would you guys have preferred to see here? Because I think maybe if they had launched it with like a recommended light of 600, and then, you know, first round is 610 things, second round 615, third round 620 things, I think this would have been a lot easier for players to manage for the first forge of this DLC.
Well, so I think a lower, like, if having it be at base upon release, having it be lower, like five lower, it doesn't disincentivize anybody to grind.
Yeah.
And it doesn't anybody who ground up to 600, it doesn't take that away. You know what I mean? It's still a valid, you still spent your time validly. You just have to grind more. And I think they're talking about having the prime drops mean like as a catch-up mechanic, starting with next week's update. Is that correct?
Yeah, so right now, if you're 550 and under, primes drop more often and give you more power. And it looks like they're going to be extending that up to 600, so that anybody who's under 600 is going to basically be getting a catch-up mechanic to get them caught up to everybody else, which is good.
Yeah,
that's very good.
If they had done that day one, you wouldn't have had as many people, I think. Yeah.
That and Monkey King in chat, which, by the way, come to the Twitch live show, mentioned with a seasonal release, what was it, like 2 weeks ago, a week ago?
Last week. It was last week.
Last week.
It feels like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
All the grinding that you've done.
If they would have at least started to let players power creep a little bit before the proper release of Black Armory, would have been fantastic. Like, don't obviously obviously don't let them hit like 615 within that week. Like, just slowly be able to let them kind of make their way up there. That would have been an easier transition to be 605 or 610, you know, going into the armory. Because I mean, it still requires like a good team, like you know, synergy, you know, to beat it, because that boss can be kind of a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, I think an earlier power creep would have been right in again in hindsight the best choice right now.
Exactly.
I will say something though that I was pretty let down by with Black Armory, and this is literally the first thing that I did when the update went live. Loaded into the tower, ran to Shaxx and to Zavala to see the hot and spicy new armor that every season brings, only to be let down with a big whopping smack to the face. It's like, nope, same armor from last season.
Yeah.
Now, was that because Season of the Forge is based upon the season pass, really? And not everyone bought the season pass, so they were just like,
maybe
keeping it the same. I was a little surprised at that too, but then I thought about it. I was like, well, season pass holders, that's not everyone that's playing the game. So maybe they did it for other people, but then again, I don't know. That doesn't.
Even if that was the case, though, everybody can still reach 650. I mean, it's just a matter of
everyone with Forsaken can
reach 650.
With Forsaken. Okay.
I sort of like talked myself out of it in my head while I said that sentence.
You talked yourself down.
I was like, wait, hold on, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and I mean, up until now, we've seen at least, you know, some kind of change. Or beforehand with the first couple of seasons in Destiny 2, we saw ornaments tied to the gear. That's not a thing for some reason anymore. And not to mention, again, and I will mention this until something is like said about it, planetary vendors have not been touched since the release of Destiny 2. Not once has their stock changed, has their gear changed. They are just literally untouched, and it's like, well, why? Like, give me something to go down to the EDZ and get those tokens, or get whatever, so I can buy the armor from them. But there's still nothing, and I'm still genuinely shocked that those planetary vendors are literally vanilla status still.
Kind of seems like they just.
When did they add the bounties to them? I mean, they added the bounties to them since
last season,
4,
right?
I want to say that was the start.
Yeah,
of
that's the only change, right? I think that.
Yeah, that's literally the only thing.
Yeah, and like I was saying, I think kind of just seems like maybe those vendors are in the same sort of spot that factions are in right now, where kind of just don't know what to do with them.
Yeah,
and so what would you? I mean,
they're just eating up the rations in the tower.
That's it. They're eating all the planetary mats and coins that we're bringing to them. That's actually what their diet subsists of. But yeah, I was right there with you, Dim. Like, there's no new Crucible stuff. There's no new Vanguard stuff, no new gear, and that sort of vibe. And I really thought that with the Season of the Forge, this would have been an awesome opportunity for them to start bringing Year 1 armor sets into Year 2.
Yeah.
Because right now we've got all those Year 1 armor sets. None of them have the mod system or the perk system from Year 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought Season of the Forge would be a great opportunity for them to do that. And it's kind of surprising that we haven't heard anything about that yet.
Yeah.
Same thing with Planet Vendors.
Yep.
No idea what old Devram's doing down there, but he's got the same stock of sniper rifles.
He's just sipping his tea.
It's the same tea he's had from the beginning.
He's never poured
moldy tea, drinking his moldy tea and sniping people.
This tea is wonderful.
Gotta make it last, apparently.
This thermos lasts forever.
Turned it up to 11. But I don't know. I don't know what the deal with that is. And you're right. Like, planetary vendors seem kind of like an afterthought right now. They don't even drop you stuff up to 600, do they? Or do they?
I don't think so.
Are there inroads tied to level?
Has anyone even gone to a planetary vendor since Forge has dropped?
No, I haven't gone since Forsaken. Except for to grab bounties.
I'm curious, like, if they drop at blues, so maybe you'll get them at like 600 or like low 600s now. But
yeah,
does that really matter?
Joel in chat says, "Hey, those vendors are my enhancement core hookup." That is
true.
Now.
That is true. You can get a bunch of.
I mean, with spider bounties and legendary armor that drop enhancement cores frequently, like, that's not even an issue for me right now. But
I was sort of like, I wasn't including Spider in the planetary vendors, even though he is one.
He's relevant.
He's sort of.
I think the only things I've visited the vendors for was when they did like the little economy change, and I had just remaining tokens, and I ran out of legendary shards.
Yeah.
I went down to planetary vendors, got rid of all my tokens just so I can delete that gear so I can get my my shards back. But yeah, no, I'm a little sad that not even Vanguard and Crucible didn't get any stock update or Gambit, because I kind of want new Gambit gear.
Yeah.
The
shaders,
the shaders are okay. Gambit leather is good. Gambit Chrome on weapons looks pretty tasty.
That is my go-to for weapons. That on the Midnight Coup.
Ooh. What about the RNG factor with Gambit, though? Because when you compare it to Vanguard and Crucible, you have to be playing it in order to get anything from it. Do the bounties, rank up. And that, or honestly, just not trying to make a big conversation about Gambit, because there's nothing new about Gambit right now, but that still irks me a little bit. It's like,
like purchasing the gear?
I have horrible RNG with it on some of my characters, and I haven't gotten full sets on all my characters.
Gotcha.
I mean, that's, first world player problems. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you run like the daily bounties and everything?
Yeah, I just, it's like I want to do other things other than Gambit. I feel like in order to get full armor sets on my Hunter and my Titan, I would have to just play Gambit a lot, and have good RNG. I got it on my Warlock. It took a while, though. It took me a while out of all those, like, whatever those quests were to do this and that with full armor sets. Gambit was I was well done with Crucible. I had finished Crucible. I finished the Vanguard strikes, and it was weeks until I got the Gambit one done finally. Just because I had to wait for like an arm set to drop. I was like, oh come on, man! I was playing a lot of Gambit at the time.
Yeah,
that burned me out. So now I'm like not even trying. I mean, you don't have to do it on other characters, but I was like, man, that's crazy RNG based.
That also hinders people that are trying to go for the title because you need the plan for keeps badge and having to rely on the RNG for like either a weapon or armor or the meatball. Yeah, that's but that's a discussion for another time.
Sorry.
Probably next season.
Forges. Forges. Who has completed the forge?
Done the first.
Nice.
I've completed both.
Any good rolls on your weapons?
Auto rifle.
Not really. No.
Yeah, I got a kill clip HCR. I can't remember what the middle was, but my auto rifle is pretty good.
Yeah, I think TBL just died.
That's fine. Just maybe clean them up so it doesn't smell.
I'll leave me here.
Wait. He speaks. He's not dead yet.
Guardian down. I got res. Yeah, RNG sucks.
It takes a while to forge weapon. I mean, you gotta. It's not just like a quick thing. Just roll through, complete it, boom, boom, boom. You gotta get the frame. Gotta get a. What are those things called that you use to purchase the frame
ballistic
initially?
Logs?
Yeah, you gotta get a ballistic log, and then you gotta grind bounties to get the other thing to purchase on that. It's like
I had this thought today. I think this is what happened to Arms Week. I think Season of the Forge is what happened to Arms Week.
You think so?
It's like Arms Season.
Arms.
Look at Ada. That's what she has. She has weapons that you can grind out for.
Yeah.
You have to do specific tasks.
Yeah.
Like, that's what Season of the Forge is.
You're right.
I think that's what happened to Arms Week.
You actually might be right about that, because there were, in the database, like, some of the Arms Week challenges were that. Like, go get kills with, like, bows and swords and hand cannons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You actually might have a point. That might be what happened to Arms Week. What happened to the catalysts that were tied to Arms Week?
Dun, dun, dun.
We don't know, but that actually might be what happened to some of that content there.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. But I like the forges. You know, they're like a quick little horde activity. Yeah, it's 3 rounds. That gets really easy once you get like 6:15 and beyond. It's actually a pretty quick little activity that you can go in and get done. And the loop there isn't too bad. You know, you pick up the bounties, pick up the frame from Ada, complete a couple of the bounties, get the materials necessary, upgrade your frame, go into the forge, well, get a weapon core, go into the forge, complete it, boom, there's your weapon. It's good for keeping you busy. Thankfully, the forge is actually a fantastic way to, you know, up your power level in this game, because it drops random pieces of armor that are like plus 10 above your light, which I didn't know until Nim and I were just running it a couple times, and I started getting armor from it.
What?
Yeah, it drops armor. RNG.
Sign T-Bot up.
Random.
Wait, is this the first or the second one that it
first
happened
one.
at?
I got it from
I got a pair of legs from my hunter after I had done all my bounties and everything.
Yeah, just running it.
Okay.
Got some legs.
So it does have a chance at dropping like prime/powerful drops for armor?
Primes definitely drop in there.
Primes will drop.
Yeah, primes for sure.
As you kill enemies, but this will drop as an engram once you finish the activity, and it'll be black armory armor.
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, so there's so you can farm the forge for armor. You're saying, because I haven't had that drop, and I didn't hear of anyone getting a drop like that. And then Ada can give them to you too, right?
I don't know about Ada, but
stuff like the whatever.
I don't know about Ada giving you armor. I personally haven't seen that happen yet, but
okay.
I remember like the night that Black Armory came out, I think T-Rex was sitting at like 630 power level by just doing the forge and getting armor drops from it.
And I personally had armor drop for me just from
cool.
Complete.
It's just super low. Like you just gotta farm the living crap out of it.
As Chad
Well,
is
it's a pretty
saying,
quick activity, so
yeah, it doesn't take long, and like I said, especially once you get to 6:15 and beyond, it's pretty snappy. So it's a good way to farm yourself up some gear if you've got a dedicated group. But it does seem to be a very low drop chance. I've only gotten one bit of armor from it.
Yeah.
okay,
So,
cool.
have you guys gone in solo? Have you guys done any of the matchmaking?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Telling them, have you done any of the matchmaking?
Yeah, I hit, like I said, I hit 610 like on the first day. So the following day, I started going into matchmaking, and I'm not gonna lie to you, chat. I was that guy. The moment we spawned in, I would check the roster, and if there were people that were under 605, I was out. Take me right back out to orbit, and I'll re-queue.
based on my personal experience, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just don't.
it's like
you know
I
what you're in
keep-
for.
yeah, I tried, and I tried communicating in chat. It's like, all right, let's stick to caves, because caves tends to be the easiest place to just kind of like court the enemies in and kill the blues. But they just refuse, and they'll go out like on the edge of the map, and they'll get themselves killed out there when they're like 603. And
Yeah.
it's like, buddy, what do you do?
Dude. Yeah. Kill shit, don't die. That's
It's
the rule of destiny.
and like it's hard. It's really hard if you're like the lone highlight character in there. It's hard to carry in the Forge. So I couldn't even be mad at Nim when he told me that, because at the time you were like what 612, 613, somewhere around there, and loading in with like 2 601s, it wasn't gonna happen. that boss kill wasn't gonna happen. So I couldn't even blame you for it, man.
Yeah, it's just
Living up to that dredging title.
Did you like Gray Fox in chat asks, is matchmaking quick?
It has been for me.
Yeah, it has
a lot
been.
of people trying to play it.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, do you think that that's because like of the volume of people that are trying to get completions, that are trying to get into the C-Ada? All right.
Yeah. Well, that, and like that's one of the things that I think people don't compliment enough about Black Armory is the fact that you can take like bounties from her, and if you want a different rolled version of the weapons, you can just complete that and go back into the armory, forge the weapon, and come back. So it has a playability. You know, that's one of the things that I really like about it, and that's probably what we see, why we're seeing people matchmaking a lot for it. It's to get that Thunderlord baby hammerhead.
Doesn't exist. It's not a real gun. All you get is tap the trigger. That's all you can get on.
Two of them.
I've seen Photoshop pictures of it. I don't believe it.
Two of them
it's
exist.
Not real. I want to believe.
I got a quick draw ambitious assassin one.
Ooh, that's nice.
Quick draw.
Yeah. I like ambitious assassin.
Ambitious assassin is pretty bitchin'.
Yeah.
I could have swore I saw somebody get mulligan on those things. Which mulligan?
I think someone in some chat I read said they got mulligan on it.
That's
because that would
like
one perk.
That sounds good.
That would
Actually,
be like the Wrath of the Machine.
Yeah, missing shots, having it refunded right back to your magazine. It's not bad. Certainly better than getting tapped the trigger twice
Genesis.
And Genesis on an LMG.
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
2 in a row. 2 in a row.
Same one.
You know,
it's not your fault, TBL.
Kind of want to go for Fiend Frenzy and high impact reserves.
I've been dealing with this since 2014, man. So, I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did to Deej to make my RNG so bad in this game that they want to hand me not 1, but 2 tap the trigger LMGs.
Apparently, you need to apologize.
Apparently, either that or I'm just a terrible blacksmith. I am this universe's worst blacksmith when it comes to making machine guns. That's all I get. That's all I deserve, apparently. But for the most part, I like Forge. I just unlocked the second one today. We complained about the quest for that earlier. It is long and monotonous.
It is pretty long.
It's not hard. It's just
no. The one where you end up going into the lost sectors, I must say, that adventure where you go into the 3 lost sectors and kill the 3 bosses, that is a unique way to tie lost sectors into quest activity.
Right.
I will say it is a long step.
It's a very long step.
That was probably one of the longest steps.
That was probably the most interesting of that quest, though, because basically what's happening in there, if you're not, if you're paying attention and not just going through and blowing everything up, there's an arms deal going on.
Yeah.
Did anybody else notice that? That's what you're interrupting.
Yeah.
You're interrupting an arms deal, which was kind of cool. But man, some of those, like we complained about the fallen captain step, that was just a frustrating wait. And so I haven't had a chance to jump into the second forge. I just got it unlocked. I might do that probably after the show. But I enjoyed
excited
the first forge.
Do this myself now.
Yeah.
Just sitting here staring, like, this sounds amazing.
Great.
Word of advice: when you guys go into that new forge, Risk Runner is your friend.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I've been using loaded question. I got sixth coyote. And loaded question, and oh boy, we were talking about it last week, how like loaded question was the worst of the batch. Well, if that's the case, I can't wait to get the other weapons because I'm having a blast with loaded question. I'm just going in and using the double dodge as a marksman's dodge.
Yeah.
Just reloading it and just hitting these guys and they're exploding, and I'm like, ha ha, see you suckers.
Yeah.
And then skipping over here, bop, see you later, Jack. And then
Beautiful.
yeah, it's wonderful.
It's a hard-hitting fusion rifle, man.
Yeah, it is so good. I liked it a lot.
Well, to put an asterisk on the hate train I was running on Loaded Question last week, it's good if you have 7 shots in your magazine. So if you've got an armor set that keeps 7 shots in your magazine, it's great. Damage on it's fantastic. The explosion's super fun.
Yeah.
Just good luck keeping 7 shots in your magazine at all points in time without having to reload or swap away for auto-loading holster.
Six Coyote does work with it though.
Yeah. I when I loaded it in today and I was like, all right, Wrist Runner, this is a fallen one, Wrist Runner. Dude, you are buffed with like the arc conductor perked like 90% of the forge run, and you're just literally just chaining lightning like across enemies and taking literally just half the damage off from that. Like, it is so unbelievably good. Like, you can literally just run around like not even ADS, just like hip fire your way to victory. It's so good.
I like it.
That's awesome. So let's talk about the arenas a little bit. So the one on Earth, there's the 2 cave system, and then the outside that you can use. Like, basically, that's what we used for the inside strat. Is just like for the first 2 rounds of it, use the caves. Third one, you just go out by the giant rock. If you are having trouble visualizing it, when you get in there, you will see what we mean. It's off to the left.
Snipe away.
And just killing the boss from there with like Thunderlord and Whisper. Yep. And in the second forge, it is on Nessus, and it is a big circular arena that has like an upper lip and a lower bowl. I will call this the tub of Nessus. And there's very few places to hide in it. Yeah. So,
not to mention that the boss in the second forge will just teleport you 50,000 times.
Yep.
What?
No matter where you are.
Oh yeah.
He's one of those giant servitors.
Yeah. Let's talk about the circle jerk of servitors that are in that second one, because
you don't like 2 servitors shielding each other, Nim? You're not a fan?
I don't like 4 servitors just beaming one another. It's like, you can't touch me. You can't touch me no matter what you do. You can't fucking touch me, man. And then you're 30 seconds like left with the arena, and that boss is still at half health because they're just looking down on you like, okay. So it's like, well, I guess I'm fucked. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. For a boss encounter like that, you kind of can't have multiple enemies who can make each other invulnerable.
Yeah.
All linked up. It's like when 2 taken goblins look at each other, fall in love, and then just start shooting one another.
Now, there's like a distance to that, because I remember playing with people where that's happened before, and like a Titan will run in and be like, screw it, and I'll like do like a quick circle, get his charge up, and do like a big boom, do like a knee in the air and like knock one of the enemies back, and then it'll break that shield.
Yeah,
I know that actually works if they're they gotta be far enough apart so that you can break them. But
Break the tether.
that's the only way I've ever seen people interrupt it, or like a good grenade that'll make them like stagger back.
Right.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if more people knew that.
Mhm.
There you go.
Well, that's what we're here for, right?
That's what the show is for.
People.
Shoulder charge and arc grenades. Pulse
Yes.
ones will make them go back away from each other.
They get spooked.
I wonder
Yeah.
if suppressor grenades do anything to them.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't tried that one. It
'Cause
may.
I haven't. I'm not looking forward to unlocking that forge on my other character. I'm not.
Why do you have
Like-
to do that more than once? Ugh.
Crying in.
That's
Cry.
so. I am inside. I'm weeping like a baby. I've only done it on my hunter. And,
Yeah.
I thought it was
again,
account wide.
No.
The unlocks. No. Okay.
No. It is like
Someone
it
told
is-
me that.
It is part of the story.
Mhm.
Okay. Got it.
yeah. So
I'm sad now.
Yeah.
suffer with me.
So with the forges, with them only being like 3-tiered activities, right? So you get
Mhm.
you have round 1, round 2, and then you have boss.
Yep.
Mhm.
What when they were saying, yeah, the further you go, the better the stuff you get. I was thinking, oh, this is gonna repeat over and over again.
Right, like you just continue
And-
playing it.
Yeah, that you could just
Yeah.
continue rolling to get gear. Not the case. How do you guys feel about that?
Well,
It's a little
technically,
weird.
that was tied to a leak. So there was
Okay.
never any official confirmation from Bungie that was exactly how this was going to work. But I
Yeah.
will say I was a little bit surprised that it was just like 3 rounds, you're done. You know, back to matchmaking, rather than 3 rounds, boss, treasure chest, another 3 rounds, boss, treasure chest, something like that you could just stay in, like a
Would have been nice.
horde mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah.
bother me too much, I guess. So
Yeah,
Destiny.
it's I wish there was a little bit more depth to it, because
Yeah.
I don't know, post this season or post whatever content drops we get over the next couple seasons, how often people will come back to it now with
Yep.
it just being 3.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's something to do if it's just like super quick. If
Mhm.
you're like, hey, I need to get this, I want to try again for another roll on this weapon. I'll LFG 2 people and we'll go in, or
Right.
just jump into matchmaking and see what happens. But yeah, man,
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of
Uh-huh.
wish it was like proper horde, and
Yeah.
it would repeat automatically instead of finding new people. But
Yeah,
if there
even if
are-
it was like the same 5 bosses that rotated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like prison. We keep going back to
Yeah.
Prison of Elders. They had a working mode. No, I think you're right on the nose. I don't know what's really going to keep people coming back to the forges once the bulk of this content is done. Let's say once Joker's Wild comes out, I don't know what's going to keep people coming back to the forges unless
Yeah.
they continually add new weapons and armor to the loot pool.
Mhm.
yeah,
If they made drops, like random drops from the forge, a bit more frequent, or rather a bit more reliable, and they were still power level appropriate, I could see people running forge because it's a quick activity that drops at level stuff right now, just at a ridiculously low level. If they made that a little bit more reliable, I could see it working.
yeah. In a perfect world, I would have loved to see each forge have its unique individual armor sets and weapons,
Yeah.
like
Uh-huh.
based on wherever there are and like the type of
Yeah.
enemies.
Oh, that would have been
Or the
great.
families, the family.
Yeah.
forges.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been cool. But
Because we have the exotics, right? That are tied to the families, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
The,
Well, you also have the emblems that you can get, like the
Okay.
hidden emblems that you can get from the forges. That's kind of a neat little secret thing. Finding
That's
the
a-
runes. I don't personally have any of them, but
The
the emblems.
Yeah, I
type-
can't remember how to get those actually, but I knew about them.
Oh man, there are some secrets tied to these forges, man. So so basically, there's hidden symbols all across these forges. They're floating on
The
walls,
boxes?
on boxes, on all kinds of things. The
Oh,
only way to
okay.
see them is if you use the Hammerhead LMG and ADS. When you do that,
Mhm.
you'll start seeing them everywhere.
Oh, it
I
has
think
to
you
be
can see the sniper as well.
LMG?
I
I
think
don't
you
have
can
the
use the
sniper yet, so
sniper
I
as
can't.
well.
Okay,
Ah,
so
you can use the
I have to
sniper
get
on-
another LMG. I dismantled one.
rest in peace.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I,
Way to
it was-
go,
I
T.
got it. I was like, it was a horrible roll. I was like, I'm going to throw this in my Thunderlord.
Yeah, it's actually super cool. There's a bunch of hidden secrets within each of these forges. There's like I showed Nim and I showed you the box with like the map on the back that shows all these bunch of different symbols. Just have to figure out what that means. But like I said, there's symbols that are all over the caves. Let's say the Volander Forge on the EDZ. There's a bunch of symbols. I think if you shoot the symbols in the right order in the right spots, you get an emblem, and that emblem is tied to the crest. So there are these other hidden things. I think there's 3 of them in the Volander Forge. These kind of like little hidden objects around the forge, and when you approach them without the emblem, it says crest not found. If you've got the emblem on, you can activate them. And right now, we've been able to activate 2 of them. We haven't been able to activate the 3rd, I think. But nobody knows what it means. Nobody has a clue. But it's an unraveling secret, and the same thing can be found in the Gophanon Forge on Nessus. There's hidden symbols all over the place. If you shoot them in the right order, you get an emblem. You can activate the crests and whatnot. There's also, of course, the mystery box.
Ooh.
Did everybody here pick up the mystery box?
Yes.
Yes.
Did everybody here get their first key unlock?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I got the second one too. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. So basically, when you're in these forges, in between rounds 1 and 2, 2 of those little shield drones will spawn, the kind that you have to destroy to damage the boss. If you blow up the 2 of those and then complete the forge, complete your round, get to the boss, and I actually don't think you need to kill the boss. I think you just need to get to the boss round.
No, you just need to get to the boss round.
Right.
Because the first time we killed the 2 drones, but didn't beat the 3rd one.
Yeah.
Right? But we did get the drop, and it was the key. So
yeah. So basically, if you kill these 2 drones, once you've gotten to the boss round and finished your forge run, whether you kill the boss or don't, I do think you have to get to the boss round, though. When it's finished, in addition to your rewards, a loot chest is going to spawn that will give you a key. The mystery box has 4 locks on it. Seems like each of these forges is going to have a key tied to it that will unlock that box. And then inside of it, I wonder what there's going to be.
Right. Well, so you also had so we have 4 keys that we need to get. Do you think that one of the one of the forges is hidden?
Actually, no, more than that. Because
maybe
there's 4 locks
in the Niobe Labs.
You're right, 4 keys.
Maybe in Niobe Labs.
Yeah, I think that's probably where it's at.
Okay.
You're right, because it's 3 keys that are tied to the different families, which are tied to the different forges, and then like a black armory key, which we don't really know what that's going to be dropping from, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Niobe Labs.
Yeah, because we get the next forge on the 18th.
Yeah.
And then on January 8th is the Niobe Labs.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think is going to be in the box?
Could be a quest.
Dead.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a quest for exotics of some sort. Could be.
Right.
Do we know how the family exotics drop yet?
Not yet.
So that could be a quest to start that.
It could be, it could be a quest to start all 3 of those exotics.
Yeah.
Got the Monarch, the Izunagi's Burden, and the Jotun. Those could all be tied to this mystery box. Right.
Oh, remember in Destiny 1 when you get the exotic quest and you choose which one you do?
Yeah.
Maybe something like that. Maybe you get all 3, like choose which one you do.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Any order you want.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Like the old Vanguard Mentor missives from back in the day with the bounties. Yeah. That'd be neat. We did get a chance to see one of the exotics added in with Black Armory.
Oh, please.
The Anarchy.
Papa TBL, tell us.
The Anarchy. The grenade launcher exotic that fires like the little traces on the ground that you link up and they create like an AoE field.
Mm-hmm.
Drops from the raid, which dropped a few days ago. What do you say we talk a bit about that?
Let's go.
Cool.
I barely watched any of it. You guys go.
Okay.
I watched a bit of it, but I unfortunately saw the DDoSing happen. I was watching that team, and when I saw that, I was like, I don't know. Honestly, like just from the perspective of a player that's at times been able to compete for like a world's first, not like I'm ever gonna have a chance because I'm not playing that much anymore.
Don't so you should.
Even day. It's just like, but I felt that pain. I was like, I couldn't even watch the raid, the rest of it. I didn't watch I really didn't watch much of it after that. But that was a decent amount of it. I saw him get to the boss because I still had it all in the background. It's like It seemed cool. It seemed more like they said it was a raid, not a raid lair. So I understand that because it wasn't in the Dreaming City, so it wasn't attached to that at all. So it is its own separate thing. But when I watched it, I was like, oh, this is really raid lair-y feeling though.
Yeah.
As far as it's
Crota.
Yeah, Crota-ish raid lair length. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was cool. Like when I saw the boss, which I won't give it away for people that haven't seen it, want to see it. I was like, that's cool. That was
pretty cool.
It was neat.
Yeah.
It was a cool encounter, man. I can't wait to go do it. I wish I had more time to play and level up and do it. I will have to wait.
It seems like it's doable. I would say safely at like 635. Right?
I would agree.
Oh yeah.
Like it is. It was quite wonderful. I actually watched it through Polar Bear 79's stream because she was rolling, I think, 9 different teams. I think she had permission from to show all their broadcasts, and they were doing commentary over the top of it. It was super awesome. It was really cool. That was like Glad, I want to say Fami, Lulu, CG, Chadlantis, Giggs. Who congratulations to Giggs and his team for winning that one. Indica was another one. Like they just had some really awesome contenders all in one stream that you could watch. And so it was 2 hours. The raid race was 2 hours. None of this 24-hour stuff or 24 hours and 2 minutes. And but it was fairly thrilling to watch it in that kind of competitive of a showcase. It makes me wonder like how Bungie sets theirs up because this was great. I don't know, like that was really cool. Each of the encounters seemed awesome. For the I will spoil something for those of you who don't know or haven't ventured in yet. You get tanks and sparrows.
You get tanks and sparrows in this raid.
Freaking awesome.
That was amazing.
Couldn't contain that one, could you?
Yeah.
I can't.
I'm happy about it. Like I was psyched when the tank popped up and it's like, yo, are they doing the thing? After we had this awesome sparrow race with like a giant flaming servitor, that was they described this previously as being a lot closer to like Wrath of the Machine and more focused on like less puzzles, more high octane combat sequences. I would say they delivered. They definitely delivered on the high octane action there. It's really kind of a wild ride from what I've seen. I've seen the last fight. Holy sheesh, that final boss. Wow.
Yeah.
Let's get some more of that in Destiny.
Yeah, just from the scope of everything just feels huge in it, right? Like you're set in the city and it feels like a city.
It's definitely one of the I think it's other than King's Fall, I want to say it's in maybe Wrath. It's one of the larger raids in terms of scope. So like you're in the city and like the last arena, that space is huge. Compared to like some of the other more closed in encounters, like Axis was pretty boxed in.
This is a wide open fight.
Yeah.
It's a wide open fight where the boss can kind of pick and choose his targets, It's kind of unique within the world of Destiny here. Most of the encounters are those kind of tight spaces or against like a pre-programmed loop like Oryx,
Right.
This is definitely interesting.
It's a cool looking raid. I'm probably not going to touch it for a good while.
Yeah, I got to get to like 6:30 before I'm trying that.
Yeah. If my drops continue being what they have been this week, I'd probably be able to do it next week. And like I'm really looking forward to that. And that adds another like loot avenue for me. You know what I mean? Like
oh yeah.
I am really impressed by all the different avenues to get to max light so quick. So you have so many available to you if you have Black Armory. I don't know about like if you just have Forsaken, what that grind's like right now.
It's not bad.
It's not bad?
It's not bad.
Okay.
I mean, again, like I was able to go from I was able to increase my power level by 10 points on a character just on the one reset by just literally running like almost every milestone, because my hunter still needs to run the Nightfall and the 100k Nightfall.
Yeah.
But like everything else, I was able to do it like, and I got a pretty decent light boost, and that's not.
Yeah.
I'm not and there. I'm not really taking into consideration the prime engrams because those are few in between.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's even without the annual pass, like you still have a lot of avenues of reaching max power.
Yeah.
So you were playing on a character without doing any annual pass stuff just to see how much of a boost you get?
Well, when Black Armory dropped on Tuesday and we went into the Forge and immediately just got bodied by the Cabal, we were like, all right, well, let's back out. Let's go do some milestones and we'll try later. And throughout the day, I just kind of like focused on, like the daily stuff, the Crucible, strikes, the typical bread and butter that you already do. And I was sitting at 610 because Last Wish gives you some pretty good
absolutely.
Yeah, Last Wish is great to run right now.
Raid, Dreaming City, weeklies, dailies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Put that in your mind for your grind, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't done the raid this week yet.
On my Warlock, I finished another Malfeasance quest by accident, like literally just playing the game. and I've had that Malfeasance just sitting over at the Drifter for a couple weeks
such a
now.
Sweat. I just
I swear to God, I was literally just playing and it's like, oh, go get your Malfeasance from the Drifter. Okay, I'm just gonna let that sit there for a little bit. So I've had it there since it was 600, and the first day that Black Armory dropped, my Warlock was like 606, and I went to go check on the Malfeasance, and it was at 610. And now that my Warlock's is 615, the Malfeasance now is 621. So I'm just kind of letting it marinate a little bit in that power juice, until it's nice and
power juice.
Until it's nice and juicy, ready for me to pick it up and use it. So
it's a good strategy.
Yeah, if you haven't done that.
President Herman Camacho over here repping the power juice.
That's right.
Power juice. Nem's power juice.
Buy it now.
Oh.
Powered by Taken.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the exotic quests from Forsaken are a good source of power. Pinnacle weapons too.
Yeah.
Those will drop above your light.
Nice
sources. There are definitely plenty of ways to level up now. Shoot, Nim, I was talking to you earlier today. Unlocking the second forge unlocks new bounties at Ada. Just kind of extended her bounty list. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. More stuff to do there too.
Ooh. I was thinking that, man, she doesn't have a whole lot of bounties, but it takes you 2 days to get 7 for the week and whatever. But so there's more.
Yeah. There's more. Yeah, it opens up, I guess, with more forges because there's some forge specific bounties, and that's what unlocked for me today.
Got it,
man. Yeah.
Speaking of that, I don't know. This is a random thought. The armor. We were talking about Wrath of the Machine, and we were talking about the armor drops a little bit for the forges. I think the armor is sexy AF.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is like Wrath of the Machine-ish, but a little bit better. The Titan legs, I haven't gotten any of it yet, but I saw it on a friend, and oh my God, the Titan legs had, I think it had looked like little stabilizers near the ankles. I was like, yo, that really looks awesome. That looks awesome.
Just to answer a question in chat real quick by Gray Fox, he asks, so is it worth letting exotic quests like Mida to simmer and power bumps? I don't think year one exotic quests
they do not
go up to level. Yeah.
Stuck at 380.
It's the recent one. So I know Chaperone did.
Yep.
Yeah. And I know Malfeasance. So the recent stuff. If you haven't done those yet, then
Chaperone isn't that hard to get either.
Easy.
Chaperone's a pretty easy quest. If you're just playing Crucible.
Yeah. That's that's one way I agree. Play Crucible, all of a sudden it just drops. Okay.
Yeah. So
if you've got Chaperone, Ace of Spades, Malfeasance, any of those exotic quests will give you a pretty sizable bump right now.
I've saved them all on my alt characters. I haven't done them. So
right on.
Well,
probably
winner.
Now. Yeah.
Let them marinate in that power juice.
Let them marinate in that Nim's trademarked power juice.
Power juice.
Powered with Taken essence. What is that? Black Panther.
Musk.
Musk.
Well, all right. I think the only other thing that really we had to talk about was the Dawning. That's coming this week.
Yeah.
Dropping in a day or two. We've got Ava. She's returning to the tower. We're going to be baking cookies.
Tower Grandma.
Stuff like that. No sign of throwing snowballs like last year, though.
Unfortunate.
I think Aura's going to be really happy with it.
Yeah. Not a fan of debuffing himself there.
How about that sparrow, though?
Oh my god.
Right.
Need it in my life.
I do not. I'm sorry.
It's got to come with like a Kurt Russell-esque Christmas Chronicles emote.
Oh,
Then I'll be happy.
This is the one thing that I'm like, maybe we've gone too far.
Okay.
You don't want to get hop in your sparrow on Christmas Eve and deliver toys to all the good boys and girls of the last city?
Look, man, like I want it to be just like I want our characters to be badasses, to rule the stars, take down whatever gods are ahead of us. And I can't imagine seeing someone in this new raid wearing that display.
Yo, just imagine, there's going to be Santa emote to go with it or something like that.
Yes.
There's going to be some sick edits going on. People are going to hop in the raid solo and just like building hop with the sparrow, jumping off, delivering presents, building hop. It's going to come.
Yeah.
It sounds like a project for Husky Raid.
There you go.
We need to get Mega on it right now.
Get him out of retirement.
That's right.
Here comes Santa Mega. Here comes Santa Mega.
That's right. Right down Santa Mega Lane. Make it happen.
I don't know, Dan. If we were able to get a broom for Halloween, I think we can get a sleigh.
Look, be festive all you want. I'm not against people being festive. I'm not. I look at this thing and I'm like, which Tim Burton movie did this come out of?
Like, all of them. All of them. It was featured in every Tim Burton movie, especially the Batman.
Oh man, it looks great.
I sort of want a Christmas broom now.
A Christmas. I can see it. I mean, hey, door's been thrown open. We got to ride around on a broom.
Yeah. I mean, and like so. The glimmer boost thing, the glimmer trick, that's all nice. That's fine. That's all good. That's fine. I just, man, I don't know. Something about it irks me. I can't. Yeah, I don't know.
The glimmer that I literally can't get rid of all the time.
Is it because it's like the modified Grey Hornet?
I didn't even think about that.
It is a modified Grey Hornet.
It kind of is. It's got the like.
Yeah, it's got the chopper handlebars,
got
dude.
The beachcomber.
It's fucking the best of two worlds. Fucking badass and festive as shit, dude.
Oh god, man.
Christmas Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
that's it.
I don't know. I like the ship. The ship is it's from the Solstice
of Heroes.
Yeah. So if you didn't get that model with that, you can get it with the Dawning.
Yay.
Cool. I dig the snowman ghost. I think that's cute. He likes this stuff though.
He likes the snowman ghost, but the sleigh has gone too far.
Let me say this.
This is the most heated that we've got all show. Over a damn sleigh?
That's what we're here
I'm not going out of my way to get any of this stuff. If I get it tangentially, cool. If I get that sleigh, I'm going to delete it immediately.
Damn.
It's going to be the first thing you get, Dan.
Not only my luck, yes. First thing you get. It's going to be getting cold. That's going to be it's going to be your version of coal in the stocking this year. Even in real life, you're going to go open your present. Sleigh. All you.
We're talking about sparrows. I'll just say this: the Forsaken Sparrow design and into Black Armory, I actually dig them.
Yes,
100%.
They've amped up their sparrow design.
Too.
Ships, yeah. I don't like all of them, but they've definitely done a good job giving us some variety there. I love them.
Isn't it weird that we get this variety and new stuff with sparrows and ships, but not armor?
Stop. Do we want to go there right now, though?
Oh yeah, dude.
Guess we just guaranteed a coal in his Destiny stocking for this year. This guy.
We're gonna have to record a
this
supplemental
this
podcast.
is why you don't get loot.
This is it. This is why my RNG is bad.
Yeah.
Hopefully this time around you'll at least get one piece of armor.
So does that make TBL the Grinch?
Oh yes. Oh yes. You're a foul one.
You're the Grinch if you don't want the fucking slave, man.
I don't. Okay, I'll accept that. I'll accept that. I got the full green behind me. It's fine. I love you guys.
Are you gonna dye your beard green?
Don't do that.
We'll see.
Ask Mega how that went for him. The only time you ever got to see Mega with a baby face. Had to get rid of all of it.
Oh my god. Oh man. But no, I mean it's fine. It's gonna be, you're gonna get double drops for everything, just like every other seasonal event, regardless of if you have Black Armory or not. So that's cool. Yeah, go get your stuff, Guardians. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
That's it.
And Bungie, if you're listening, give nothing but slays to Mr. Dan Finnegan.
Oh my god.
That's right. That's all he gets.
That's so
I just finished the raid and I got 12 slays.
I didn't know this was in the drop pool.
Bungie, my account is on PSN. It is spelled like this: JDENN7091. That's you can send all of those slays right there. Thank you.
Absolutely. That's
there
absolutely
you go.
So good.
Well, all right. Is it time to move on to questions?
I believe so. We've only had one so far.
Right on.
So, like, if you guys have questions, drop them in chat. We will try to answer as many of them as possible before Nim and I both die from exposure.
That's about how it works. Why don't we start with some questions for our special guest host tonight?
Ooh,
Mr.
neat.
Teebot. Since we didn't do it at the start of the show, now we get to ask the unfortunate questions.
Yay!
Yeah.
I thought I was actually, I'm probably guests where I'm like, they didn't really put me in like the spotlight. They didn't ask me weird questions.
Oh, he thought he was in the clear.
Oh no, you're good.
He thought he was.
I'm just like in. I just slid right in there. I was like happy
he
about
was
that.
in the clear. Oh, there's no escape from this, son.
No.
No way, G.
Internet's cutting out.
Oh, that's getting choppy. I can't see you guys. Frame rate's dropping. I'm getting DDoSed.
Hits power button on PC. Click.
So, obviously you're here. You're part of the Planet Destiny team, which, welcome.
I am.
Thanks for joining us, by the way.
Yeah, thank you for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
That's great to have you here,
Freaking
man.
awesome to be part of the team.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome to have you here. So,
Yeah, man.
whenever we have somebody on the show, I always like to ask them about their previous gaming experiences, what really got them into the medium, and especially what got you into Destiny, because this is a franchise that everybody seems to have a different story with.
Yes, I'd like to think mine's unique. Hopefully unique. So, yeah, I got into Destiny because I had a PlayStation 3. I didn't play Destiny on it. And I was into games like Batman, the Arkham series, loved them.
Yeah.
Played Assassin's Creed, loved them. I played single player games though. I didn't play online stuff. I was actually a bit of a curmudgeon when it came to that stuff. And I was like, I'm not gonna do that. I don't know why, And I did that stuff as a way to recover from training. I used to race mountain bikes professionally. So I would come home, I would do things, and in the evening, if I couldn't go to sleep, I'm gonna play some Batman. So fast forward, and I'm doing that. PlayStation 3 gets stolen, house gets robbed. Sucked really, really bad.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, at the time I didn't really mind having my PlayStation stolen. I was like, oh, that sort of sucks. So we got it replaced, got a PS4. Well, got the PS4. It didn't work. Took it back, argued a bunch. It's with Walmart. Hey, I shouldn't have said the name, but anyway, the place I got it from, you can edit that out. And
I'm not going to.
On blast. Put him on blast.
God. Well, anyway, so they wouldn't replace it at first. I argued about some dumb stuff, and finally, like, all right, fine, go get one. And they only had the original white Destiny edition PlayStation from when Destiny dropped. Destiny 1 Vanilla dropped. So I was like, I'll just take that one. I don't care what color it is. And they're like, all right. So I took it home, plugged it in, and I didn't play Destiny at first. And then a friend of mine was like, yo, you have that Destiny edition when he was over. I was like, yeah. I was like, I play Destiny. I'm like, okay. So I did. I started loading in. I was like, wait, you got to pay to be online? What's this crap? So I paid to be online. Played it with them. Fast forward, I'm addicted. It was like it was really fast, man. I hate to admit that, but it was like, oh my god. I was like, Nem earlier mentioned that he loves the grind, and it was weird. It was like, wow, this is mindless and like you just do the same thing over and over again, and it's it's RNG based, and I should hate this, but I don't.
Right.
Why? I couldn't figure it out, and yeah, I mean, I wasn't a Christmas noob. I was like a turkey noob. I got it around Thanksgiving, I think. So not on day one, but I started playing it shortly after.
Oh, well, dude, you were there like right in the golden age. That was right before the Dark Below dropped. The raid was live.
I finished Vault right before Dark Below dropped, I think.
Really?
So. Yeah,
that's awesome, dude.
I was there in the age of glorious LFG with all the wonderful squeaker kids trying to get their fate bringers and dropping out of the raid halfway through because they didn't get it.
Yep,
it was good stuff. The best of
Templar,
times.
gone out.
Yeah.
That was why I joined my first clan, actually, because I was sick of that. I was like, I can't deal with this anymore. This is so horrible. I can't finish the raid because these kids, they just keep leaving. They're so mean to me. So I joined the clan. And,
yo, do you know how to slam the sword? You know how to do the sword?
Yeah.
Can you run Relic?
Can you run Relic? Can you?
Let me inspect you. What's in your heavy slot? you know what's coming.
You don't have Galahorn?
Yellowhorn, get the fuck out.
Yeah. Oh god. I was lucky. I got Galahorn fairly early. It wasn't a huge thing on LFG yet.
He was the bell
one, and then I got it. I was like, all right, cool. I don't have to be that guy anymore.
So you were never kicked from a raid team, huh?
Nah. Definitely left a few.
Oh yeah. No, if you have that in your heart,
you
are more than entitled to leave a fire team.
You can dip. You're free to dip.
Yeah, I wasn't shy about that. Halfway through, I'd be like, I can't.
Need you more than you need them.
I distinctly remember once doing Vault of Glass. I just in the middle of Templar, I was like, I can't do this with you guys anymore. You are all horrible people, and it wasn't because they were bad. Like, yeah, we were dying, but they were just like saying stuff and just being horrible LFG people. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't. I'm sorry. Click. Bye. I remember when I left the party chat, all I heard was what and then gone. So yeah, that's how I got into Destiny.
That's actually a fantastic story.
Wonderful.
You know what? The heartbreak of losing a PS3, that sucks. But the wonderful part of that,
triumph.
You didn't play Destiny on PS3.
Right.
You got to miss that.
Yeah.
That wasn't great.
That was I have heard stories.
That was
I have heard.
Not great.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I did that until the Taken King, like till shortly after the Taken King. I didn't own a console. I didn't own a console. My roommate owned a console, and I was using his account and playing the game because I missed an entire generation of consoles. So like, I was straight up PS3 the entire time, and then hooked up with the dad's Destiny, and that roommate moved out, and 3 months later I got a PS4, and now I've been here.
Nice.
Yay. So man, Destiny 1 on PS3 was
rough, dude.
That's what it hurt. When Wrath hit, was that when PS3 players started to get locked out?
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was after Taken King, but before Rise.
They couldn't actually even play Wrath, right? Like that wasn't available.
Right.
They actually split, kind of proving that they can, mess around with player accounts. Bungie, can I get my PC character on my PS4? But they actually split your account into two. Like your PS3 account and your PS4 account were previously one account, and then like after a certain point, your PS4 just became its own thing, and your PS3 became its own
it was like the end of August or something like that, right before the content drop. Yeah, fun times.
Oh man, good times.
All right,
that was my introductory question. I've contributed.
I know T. I have no questions for him.
Yeah, I've known T for a bit, T, so you're in the clear.
Wow, that's a cop out.
Easy money.
That's fine. It's all good.
Look, man, you and I stream together on Thursdays sometimes. There's very little.
T.
When you feel like putting up with me, yes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sick.
Yes, Nem.
Warlock, Hunter, or Titan?
I'm traditionally a Warlock, but I have grown to like all three, and then currently I've been playing on my Titan more. So
gross, double gross.
I don't know. It's weird, but I almost always start like a major expansion with my Warlock. Black Army, I started with my Titan, but it's not really an expansion. It's just sort of blah. So
yeah. Good man.
Yeah.
Good man.
The
Good
right
answer.
answer. That was the correct opinion.
Surrounded.
all right.
Surrounded by
I have a feeling I'm not going to
Dan,
look,
you're the
but I have a feeling
minority.
chat probably doesn't agree.
Oh,
man. Yep.
All right, we got a couple of good questions
Yeah,
in the
we
chat here if you want to
Right ahead.
Sure.
take care of that.
Our team Mayday asks, if you could change one thing in Black Armory content or raid, what would you change?
Give me
Start
my
with T
seasonal
here.
vendor stuff.
No, start with T. Shut up, Nim.
I don't have a great off the top of my head answer for that, but it would have something to do with the accessibility of the Forge and the replayability of it, because I didn't add to this part of the conversation earlier, but in the back of my mind, something's scratching when I think about the Forge and the content overall in the big picture. I don't think it's going to be as replayable because there's not a whole lot of people that are going to want to go back and try to get god rolls on the weapons that they didn't get the perfect roll on, you know? And heck, a lot of these weapons could get overshadowed anyway pretty quickly. Who knows? So, I'm sort of hoping I would change something in that regards. I don't know what I would do, though.
Understandable.
I need to play it more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Week 1 out of 12.
Yeah.
I think that's a great place to start, you know. We talked, you know, almost ad nauseum about the way this all rolled out, and I think a bit of a change there, both to make it a bit more accessible for players who are just starting out, as well as a bit more rewarding for players who are grinding out the end game. That's a good way to look at things. Since you answered that, I would love it if we had more things to get in this. Like, if I could change something, I would have brought all of, like I said earlier, the year 1 armor into Black Armory with this season, you know, made it so that they have some of the new perk combinations and whatnot.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a great way to reintroduce things. Give people to go, you know, that would actually give people a reason to go to those planet vendors, Nem.
Yeah.
You'd have a reason to go to see Devram.
Yeah. Oh, man. An extra encounter in the raid, in the new raid, I think would be like...
That's fair.
Make it just a little bit juicier.
Yeah, maybe like have one puzzle, like not have it be like, or like maybe if not another encounter, then like some super secret kind of like Wrath Machine. Like that would be pretty gnarly as well.
Like an Outbreak Prime equivalent.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Something along those lines. That would be pretty neat.
Which, I mean, granted, it's still pretty early in the raid. I would.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty far-fetched to say we found everything in there.
Nope, found everything. Found everything. First 2 hours, that's
First
it.
2 hours, that's it.
Or maybe it changes. You know, the Dreaming City sort of morphs a little bit. Maybe the new raid will morph a little bit. Something will happen when we unlock all the forges, you know?
Yeah, something could. I mean, we do know that the story there isn't finished. We're still searching for civics.
Yeah.
Ooh, girl. Spoilers.
I'll unlock the forge. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Unlock the forge, you dirty scrubs.
Get to work.
Grind.
What about you, Nim?
As I mentioned before, updates to all of the seasonal vendors. You know, not seasonal vendors, but the seasonal gear. You know, just something extra to get other than like the Black Armory armor and stuff like that. Because again, I didn't have much of an issue with like the power grind. Literally took me a day. So I don't know. I'm just speaking for myself, but I would have liked to see more Vanguard Crucible and like a Gambit update in terms of weapons and armor.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah.
All right. Hushpesh 101 asks, thoughts on forges being better and more worthwhile than Blind Well?
I mean, anything that's rewarding is better than Blendwell.
Yeah. You kind of just get one real reward from Blindwell a week. Whereas, at least with the forges, even if your initial powerful drop of your machine gun gives you something like tap the trigger in Genesis, let's say, you can just grab another frame, build another one, and there's a chance at random armor drops.
Yeah. It's all right. I did the Blindwell just to get that powerful Engram.
Just
pretty much it.
The bounty.
Yep. Neat.
That's it.
Yeah. Potty McHugh asks, do you guys like the introduction of multiplayer emotes?
Yes.
I want to know how they work.
I'm nothing it.
Work. Yeah?
Yeah.
Nothing.
I'm nothing it.
Yeah. All right.
That's for how they
not
work.
the type of thing. That's not really why I play the game.
Yeah.
I play with friends, but emote together, it's like, I want to. The only time I emote with my friends is when they die because they did something dumb, and I sweep with their remains. That's it.
I've been skanking on them.
I'm
on everything.
Yeah.
I'm honestly a little bit shocked that it took them kind of this long to get multiplayer emotes to work together, since they've introduced them since the whole original refer a friend back in D1 where you had the synchronized dance. So it's about damn time. I'm just kidding.
As for how they'll work, I'd imagine it's just the same way the other ones do. Just lock on, and like two people have to have the same emote. It'll probably have a startup animation, and then somebody else activates it. Boom.
Yeah. That's about it.
It's cool, but not like it's
it's a neat little thing.
Yep.
Sight.
Great Fox 2K30 asks, with the content drop switch instead of a large DLC to a trickle, is D2 at risk of losing folks till Black Armory gets rolling?
I would say Black Armory already is rolling. We had the 2 forges drop, the raids loose. We're having Dawning this week. It was only really kind of a drag for the first 3 days. That's really all it was. Now that a lot of the content is up and going, there's plenty of stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if I go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
That's fine. I was just gonna say, like, it's an interest. It's hard to really make that determination because the people that grind and make it to endgame hit 600 before Black Armory. Like they obviously have the mindset towards the game. They have like the desire to play the game and grind up and play it. They're not going to go away.
Yeah,
but people that were already behind and don't have a chance of playing Black Armory stuff like the forges unless they grind up past 600 right now. That I could see some of them being like, all right, this is too much, and putting it down, but they'd probably come back at some point if they like playing Destiny, because there's that middle ground player that it affects, I think. So
what I was going to say is it's very similar in that vein, is that like if by now people are still playing the game but they feel behind, I'm actually surprised that they're still going at it and haven't dropped out by now. Because again, it's just an extension of what we're already doing. It's just adding an extra activity. But again, Bungie is providing a faster boost with the Prime Engram system now, so it's not going to be super impossible for people that are in the 550s and lower to catch up in like a week or two. So
I think a lot of with the Forsaken folks who haven't bought into Black Armory yet, and at least those who are slow to react, it feels like they're in wait and see mode. Like, you don't really, if you have Forsaken, you don't really need to buy Black Armory right out the gate. You can kind of wait this season out and see how it rolls and decide whether you like that content model or not, and then decide whether you want to drop the $35 for Joker's Wild and Penumbra later on. I feel like if you're not already bought in, then my estimation, my assumption, and this will probably make an ass out of me somewhere, is that you didn't buy in initially.
Yep.
Like you still feel like Bungie left you behind something.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, it's not like an elitist thing at all. I don't see that way. I see it as common sense for you to feel that way, and that you're letting your wallet talk instead of your mouth, which is understandable.
Yeah, I completely agree. I had a bunch of people in stream this week come up and ask me about whether or not it's worth the purchase right now, because they were worried about, they only own Forsaken. Am I going to get left behind? And I told them, no, absolutely not. Especially now that you can just own Forsaken and reach max power level of 650, and we've got other bits of content and whatnot. And the majority of the content that's going to get your power level up is stuff that's already in Forsaken right now. If you're still worried about buying Black Armor, you absolutely do not have to buy it. Like, you're not really missing out on anything other than the raid and the forges. And absolutely. Yeah, that. So absolutely, I agree with that. That if you're somebody out there who's still in wait and see mode, that's perfectly fine. You're not missing anything by not picking up Black Armor right now.
Yeah, it's 3 months. You got
it's not putting you that far behind at all.
Yeah, if you get it for Christmas, awesome.
Well, you don't,
happily have you in the forges.
Yeah, exactly. You're still going to have seasonal content. You're still going to be able to push towards 650. So,
yeah, it's like I'd probably say that like if you're in that wait and see mode and you want a lot of stuff to do, come back in March.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Especially if you love Gambit, but you hate everything else.
One of those people.
You got Dredgen week 1.
I did.
Jeez.
I did. Back when the meatball was like super rare.
Yeah. I love you, man.
Doesn't exist.
The last question for the night comes from Trini. Do you guys like the fact that they allowed everyone to progress in power whether or not they have the DLC?
Yes.
Yes.
Very yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean it's smart that Bungie is not forcing people to buy the annual pass to feel some sort of progression, if they don't want to put down the $30 for it.
Yeah.
They can't lock out players like that. The way they are doing DLC like the Black Armory, the season pass, they obviously knew ahead of time that like if they didn't allow the players that didn't get Black Armory to progress in power level at least, then they would lose a lot more players. So power level is a big deal. Well, I mean, I guess maybe adding some logic into it, the players that aren't raiding now probably aren't going to raid in the future. Well, I mean, hopefully some of them start getting into the raid and finding groups that can get them through. But, the Black Armory's endgame stuff, it's a relatively short activity and a raid for the most part. So most of it they're not probably going to want to do, or it doesn't affect them, I would argue.
Yeah.
That's not a blanket statement by any means, but they can't lock anyone out. That's crazy.
Yeah.
If the more they do it, the more they hurt themselves. And I think, you remember the Activision call. You guys talked about that. That was blown out of proportion by a lot of people that probably don't understand corporate business and what really goes on. I understand that, unfortunately, because I'm very heavily steeped in that world in my day job. But what Bungie's doing essentially is they're consolidating their reach, not their reach, their focus market, their focus targeted audience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Still not using the right words, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they can't. They have to be super careful. So they're not going to lock people out anymore. I think this model's perfect for Destiny. Destiny's finally, I think, becoming what they wanted it to be. Not there yet, but it's getting back in that direction.
Yeah, it's getting better onto what it needs to be on a live service type of game.
Yeah.
It's not the Red Bull sponsored crazy Pop-Tart coded Call of Duty phenomenon. That's not what it is. They tried to sell that at the drop of Destiny 2, and you know, y'all saw what happened. So now they're finally it's coming into its own finally,
I wonder,
which is nice to see.
How much of the player base we'd still have intact had this been a thing, even back in Curse of Osiris days. Like, still have the light chase as a carrot on the stick, but still allow like a wait and see kind of mode. I wonder.
I think it would have been better, but there still would have been blows from the poor decisions that were made during year one. Like at the even if we were to add the better light gaining system that we have right now, the core game of Destiny 2 was still very flawed in year one.
Yeah.
Still had a lot of issues. If we had Forsaken, if we had this system last year at the launch of D2, I think we'd be in a completely different world right now. Completely different world.
Yeah, 100%. And again, you know, taking away the story element from those minor DLCs, I think ultimately is for the better. Because I mean, not a lot of
really
the other
groundbreaking
ones
happened.
Yeah, and again, nothing groundbreaking happened, and I feel like a lot of the use of those characters was just not good, or well done. You know, Osiris is, you know, one of the big ones, and you know, you saw how that turned out. So yeah, I'd rather them focus on keeping players engaged instead of telling a kind of like half-baked story with, you know, important characters from the lore kind of rushed into the mix.
Half-baked, like Ada 1 being in the tower all along?
She was right
in the
there.
Tower wall. We're not in the tower. Everybody says this is the tower. We're in the tower wall.
And it's a new one. Like, this is the new tower wall.
Well,
so was she
guys,
like here?
Guys, we just moved in, okay? We just moved in a year ago. We didn't know that there's somebody living underneath our floors, and that's fine. You're going to have hop-ons from time to time.
Not Rasputin. Not even Hawthorne. The Vanguard.
The reason why in the director that's not called the tower, that's called the travel.
No, you're right. It's not. Yeah, it's not the tower, but it's a connected facility in very close proximity.
Yeah.
I didn't mention that before, but just to get it out of my system.
For how much
WTF?
Just right there.
So
next
bold
Capital
capital letters.
Last week I called Ada a jilted X. I would say that it's more the person who lives in the apartment below you who has to listen to you constantly. Like, you're louder than you realize. They're just like, you're not welcome here, Guardian. You're not welcome here.
I don't. So yeah, it was really odd what happened when you finally meet her. You're like, and the cool thing about it was everything she said. The way I listened to it and the way I absorbed it and took it was like, there's a ton missing. It's not quite like the Exo Stranger where you're like really scratching your head. There's some oddness about it, but like, I think like the questions that I'm like, hey, why does no one know this person's there?
Right there with all these world-ending weapons.
I'm really hoping, please tie it together and make it. I want some big twist to happen.
Yeah,
where like we're in the dark, but other people aren't, and it's like, oh my god, like I want this big story twist to happen because I've always wanted some dark twist to happen. Yeah, Forsaken wasn't really a dark twist necessarily in my mind. Like, no, I don't think it was. No, there was some darkness to it, but I want the dark twist to happen like in our own home. This could be the start of that.
Well, yeah, I mean, we know that Guardians killed the founder of the Black Armory, so there's already that connection there.
Sort of wanted to go deeper than that, though.
Yeah, I'm sure we will find out, you know, in time, whether if it's in game or somewhere else. But
there's supposed to be some lore getting dumped into the game along with some of the other forges and whatnot that we're going to be getting. So, hopefully,
can I say though, the voice actress for Ada 1 feels like she can properly convey like tone to her character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, she is good.
She was really well done.
The design for Ada is wonderful. The porcelain skin is wonderful.
It looks awesome.
I want my Exo to have like one of those cool like sound activated LED mouths now.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
And she's won. She's never been reset.
Never been reboot.
So that's an interesting thing too.
Gotta know some.
I didn't even think about that. That is.
Yeah.
Knows some pretty interesting things. Maybe we'll be able to learn about some of that in the lore sometime in
Yeah.
the future. I'll just never forget the opening cutscene for that. What are you doing here, Guardian? You're not allowed. But I got this gold MasterCard. Come on
American
in.
Express.
The turnaround there was just so
paper
fast.
on the ground.
Yeah.
Password is
card.
password.
There we go.
Okay, cool.
Let's
You're
be
in.
My library card.
It actually doesn't matter what card you show her. Just show her some sort of card, and she'll let anybody waltz into the Black Armory. Apparently, that's how it works. They can just give up a 300-year grudge just like that, as long as you got good credit.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe that's going to be it for tonight's show. We got more?
Nope, that's it. That's a wonderful show, I think.
Right on, right on. That is going to be it for episode 181 of the Planet Destiny podcast. We had a lot of fun here tonight talking a bit about Black Armory and all the content, or all the content that hasn't dropped in it, I guess is what I should say there.
Yeah.
Yo, special thanks to Mr. T. Thanks for joining us.
Heck yeah.
Happy here tonight, man. Awkward.
Wait, did you?
That's how we froze for a second.
Yeah, no. Did you say something? I saw your mouth move, but I think it cut out.
I got Discorded.
literally heard nothing.
Discord inserted the awkward pause. I was just saying thanks for joining us tonight, man. It was great to have you here.
Heck yeah, no, it was my pleasure to be
T.
here. Man. Yeah, nothing came. I didn't hear much.
There were no words. I was so awestruck by you that I was robbed of any semblance of thought there.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Nah, it's great to have you here, man. And of course, before we get out of here tonight, we're going to give you an opportunity to let you show your stuff, let everybody know where they can find you across the internet, what you got coming up this week. So,
all right, well, twitch.tv/iamTeebot. You can find me there Monday through Thursday, 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. I'm streaming on Planet Destiny's channel Tuesdays at 6 p.m. And I'm on Twitter, iam_Teebot. Mostly pictures of dogs nowadays.
That's actually worthwhile.
Love it.
That's completely worthwhile.
Yeah, I mean, it's. Do you really care what I have to say or think? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're about to.
More dogs. Bring us
Hey,
more
do
dogs.
you have drainage issues on construction project? Then you probably do care. Otherwise, then we're looking at dogs.
Right in this section of my face.
There we go. Wonderful.
Sir, you need a good massage therapist.
All right.
Let them work that
Can't
right
afford
out of you.
Yeah.
Well, right on. Again, thanks so much for joining us tonight. It was great to have you here, man.
Thank you. It was great to be here.
Right on. Nim, where you at, buddy?
Twitch.tv/NemPlays. And on the Planet Destiny YouTube side of things as well, with the occasional weapon review and your Friday by Friday Zer videos. And Twitter as well, NemPlays as well. If you care what I say, you can go there. Talk about food.
Clearly, people care what you say, guys. They're here.
That's it. Way to sell the product there, Nim.
I try. Not really. Dan!
Yo! You can find me twitch.tv/Danfinity. You can find me on Twitter, twitter.com/Danfinity, but the I's are L's. You can find me here on the Planet Destiny stream team on Friday mornings from 10 to 2. And you can find my other podcast, SideQuest Sunday, now on hiatus from the season, anywhere where you find podcasts. So enjoy yourself, guys. You smell nice.
You too.
DBL.
Thank you for the compliment. I do smell nice.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
You're
that.
welcome. Discord
Definitely
really did a service to all of us by including a smell-o-vision.
You did. Yeah, you should try it out. It requires Discord Nitro, though, so you got to shell up the bucks.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
You might regret it after you make that purchase. But I'm the Black Link. You can find me pretty much everywhere across the internet, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all those places at the Black Link. We do live streams, we do videos for PD, all that usual stuff. This week we got the Dawning starting, so I'm probably going to be doing videos for that, live streams of that kind of stuff. leveling up in Black Armory, all the usual D2 gains. Might be doing some more Switch streams too. I've got to continue on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Having a lot of fun with that game, so we're going to be jamming in on that. And I don't know, one of these days I'm going to play Fallout 76 and see how many things I can break. We'll see.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Maybe not.
Buddy, why would you do that to yourself?
It's a rough game. It's a rough game at times. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for episode 181 of the Planet Destiny podcast. Thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. We hope you all have a wonderful week in the world of Destiny, and we'll see you again soon. Bye, everybody.